Hi everyone, Chrissy here for Spectrum Noir, and today I'm going to show you how to create this card and that ombre die cut. So what I did is I had a piece of premium white cardstock and I added some of the Easy Cut adhesive on the back of it, and then I die cut it. I just ran it through my Gemini and I held it down with some washi tape so it didn't move. Then before I separated the die cut from that panel, I decided I was going to color it in. You can separate it first, however, because we're going to be doing a lot of blending, it's a little bit easier, especially with more intricate die cuts, to just keep it on that piece of cardstock. So I used my acrylic black as a palette. So I went ahead and I kind of squeezed some of that sparkle pen out, it's the macaroon color, onto the palette, and then I grabbed my clear and I just picked up the color and kind of started adding it to the die cut. So at the top it's pretty dark, and then I'm just going to you'll see me periodically kind of going on the paper towel and squeezing off that excess color. And you can see I'm starting to pull the color down, and I did speed it up quite a bit. I promise you I don't color this fast. And I just keep going over it and over it. I want the top to be dark, and then I want to keep going ahead and pulling that color down, And then you can even get rid of some of the color too if you come back in just with the clear when it doesn't have any color on it. And instead of going from top to bottom, I went from bottom to top. And then that actually removes some of the color at the bottom. So I'm just using a heat gun to go ahead and speed up the process for this video, but normally you could set it aside and just let it dry. It shouldn't take too long. There's a lot of ink on there, but probably like 20 minutes and it would be dry. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to color in and create the rest of the card. I took the die cut out there and I did it just because I wanted to see positioning. I wasn't really sure where I was going to place these little feathers. And so that's another reason why I like using big acrylic blocks or a tool like this so I can actually visually see it on my card. What I like to do lots of times is I lay the stamps down on my card panel before stamping. So that way I can kind of get an idea of what the layout will be in my mind. And I just stamped it with some watermark ink. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some white embossing powder. And I'm doing that because I'm going to create an embossing resist. I'm going to continue to use my sparkle pens, but I want the stamped image to resist my coloring. So it's really kind of cool. You can hardly see it. It's there, but it's in white on white paper. So then I'm going to go ahead and use another acrylic black, and I'm going to add a couple different colors here. I used aquamarine, moonlight, harvest moon, and emerald green, and then the macaroon again, along with the clear pen. And I'm just doing the same thing that I did for the ombre die cut, but this time instead of doing ombre, where I'm just using one color and I'm making it clear at the bottom, I am blending two colors. So for the one feather, I'm going to blend the blue and the green, the aquamarine and the green. And then for the other feather, I'm going to blend the harvest moon and the macaroon. And then I'm also going to come in with the yellow as well. So you can see that I'm just kind of going back and forth. And I'm just, as it dries, once it's dry, I kind of add more layers of color, like typical watercoloring. So, you put a light layer on first, then you go back and you add more dark and then blend it, and then add more and blend it and add more and blend it. If you want it to be really dark, what I just did is I actually took the sparkle pen directly and I put it on there, and then I took the clear and I blended it out. I just wanted a lot of contrast between the two colors, and that's why I didn't just grab the color and put it on there. I used the actual pen itself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the exact same thing using the harvest moon and the macaroon. So you can see I'm just going to blend them together. Sorry, my head's in the way. And the cool thing about this is, one, they're sparkle pens, so they're super sparkly, but then by using that clear overlay basically as a water brush or a paintbrush, it's even sparklier. The whole card just shimmers. I cannot wait to give this to someone for their birthday because they are going to be amazed at just how sparkly and pretty it is. So once that panel is 100% dry, go ahead and add some foam squares to the back. We're going to place it onto a regular card base. Now make sure you're using a lot of foam squares because we did add a lot of ink, and though we didn't really add water, we used the clear pen, which is still liquid. So it's going to buckle unless you have a lot of adhesive on there. So make sure that it's good. And I also did take the pen and I kind of like flicked some colors on there as well for the background, but that wasn't very exciting, so I didn't show that on the video. So now because I had that adhesive on the back, I'm just going to go ahead and peel off. I did it already actually. I peeled off the release tape and now my entire die cut is nice and sticky and it places on there with no problem. If you don't have easy cut adhesive or stick it or anything like that, that is not a problem whatsoever. You can always use any other type of liquid adhesive. And that will work just fine too. I'm just all about as easy as possible. I like to focus on the coloring and the technique, and then everything else should just be gravy for me. So to finish off the card, I decided to add just a few sequins, and they're kind of like iridescent-y, clear, sparkly, which I thought went really well with that whole sparkle theme I have going on. So I just added some clear adhesive and dropped them on using tweezers.